Welcome to the Geeks and Geeks podcast, where we bring in the latest and greatest in the world of sports. I'm Adam.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Tom, and in this episode for Wednesday, March 11th, 2026, we have Geeks and Greeks news.
We also have discussion of our game of the week or match of the week this week. We have our discussion of the AEW Revolution pay-per-view coming up. And, of course, we're going to be discussing the pinnacle of the Jets.
So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and don't forget to like and subscribe and get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports.
And here we go.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast. It's going to kick off here shortly with some news and all that great NFL updates we got with free agency. But before we quite get into that, we'll kind of start off as we regularly do. How was your guys' week this week?
Oh, man. I have had a goddamn whirlwind of a week. My kids are still here, which is great. I love having my kids here, but usually they go to my ex-wife's place for a week and then my place for a week. Since we keep passing the flu back and forth, we decided to just keep the kids put until everybody's healthy. So I'm rounding about my 11th day in a row, and I'm getting a little exhausted. And work has been insane, and I have a flat tire, and I need a new battery in my car. So I've had a hell of a week.
Dang.
Yeah.
I have to have meetings with a handful of vice presidents because we're gearing up for a 15-month project, and I have to get everything in writing so we know where the goalposts are.
You know those goalposts are going to move. It's 15 months.
That's why we get it in writing. It's like, nope. If these are the goalposts, if you want different goalposts, you got to get new paper.
Oh, man. It's been busy out here, too. I've been sick yesterday and then really hit last night and ended up taking off work today. Just felt terrible. So I sound a little bit weird tonight. That's going to be why, guys. But we'll power through it and we'll make it through. And we'll move on into our NFL news for the week, which starts off with free agent frenzy.
All right. So basically, free agency started this week, and it's like drinking from a fire hose. We had, it's for the sake of my sanity, I broke this into sections. We'll start off with the contract signings of non-skill positions. Now, I made the benchmark 20 million annually because if you're under that, there's like 50 million of you, and I can't keep track.
That's fair.
So, there were 5 non-skilled positions, but the one that I found the most interesting was Tyler Lindenbaum, who is now the center for the Raiders, signed a 3-year, $81 million contract, making him the highest paid center in the league.
Damn. Way to go.
It's like the Raiders want to protect the quarterback they're probably going to draft in like a month or two.
Who's to say what they do with their first overall pick? You can't predict the future.
I tell you what, they're going out and getting a star center and paying him insane amounts of money. You think they're taking advice from Tom Brady at this point?
Yes,
maybe,
I do.
Maybe just a little bit. Maybe
Right?
he's like, hey guys, how about you listen to me?
I've been there.
I've also heard rumors that there's a good possibility that Mendoza won't start the beginning of the season either. Even if he's drafted 1-1, they're talking about there's talks coming out of the Raiders organization that he still may sit for a few weeks and not start the regular
Good.
season off as the starting quarterback.
See, I
Good.
agree that is a good tactic, but I'm more concerned now that they don't have Geno Smith. So who is week 1 if not Mendoza?
Kyler Murray.
Semantics.
But then we get into 19 kickers and punters were signed to teams this in the past few days, but no one really cares about kickers, so we'll move on. 20 tight ends, including Travis Kelce by the Chiefs, and one more year. Why not? Go Travis.
Yeah.
13 running backs, including Travis Etienne to the Saints.
Etienne.
Yeah.
Etienne, I think. Etienne. I forget how it's pronounced.
Kenneth Walker III to the Chiefs. Kenneth Gainwell to the Bucks. Rico Dowdle to the
Yep, Dowdle.
Steelers. And Isaiah Pacheco to the Lions. Maybe. I can't find anything on this trade or on this contract. They just all they can say is, yeah, he signed with the Lions. But
I think
they
it was
don't.
a 1-year, $8 million deal.
Oh, you found more information than I did. All they would it wouldn't even give me that.
Yeah. But also to answer your other question, right now the only quarterback on the Las Vegas Raiders roster is Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell.
He's the only one that's on the roster at this point. Because Pickett just signed with, I think, the Bucks or somebody. Or no, Pickett just signed, I think, with the Cardinals.
Panthers.
Oh, it was the Panthers? Okay. I knew he signed somewhere. My bad.
We'll get to the quarterbacks in a minute.
But yeah, so, I mean, the problem with Pacheco going to the Lions is that it's like every other player on the Lions. He's just injury prone. He's been hurt the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And he missed a good chunk of this last season. So, I mean, if he plays, he's a good replacement for Montgomery. It's a bit more of a, he's more of a power back, but the odds of him playing more than 8 games are not likely.
Yeah. I gotta ask, you think that Travis Kelce's coming back as Taylor Swift is like, don't bother coming home till you get me another championship?
I mean,
Like-
maybe. It is funny though, because we dogged him last year. He actually had a pretty decent year for a tight end.
He did, but he didn't make it to the playoffs even, right?
Yeah, that was what I was saying. He finally has a good year, and it was the year they didn't go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But that brings us into 20 wide receiver contracts signed, including Rashid Shaheed staying with the Seahawks, Mike Evans with the 49ers, Wendell Robinson with the Titans, Romeo Dobbs with the Patriots, and Alec Pearson with the Colts for a 4-year, $114 million contract. You better live up to this wide receiver 1 position, because they need you, man.
See, here's the problem with the Pierce contract, and then them. I mean, we'll talk about it more later. And then them trading Pittman. Pittman being there opened up things for Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Pierce as a true number 1 receiver. He's kind of like TJ Houshmandzadeh. He was amazing number 2 because of Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco, whichever name you want to call him. But once he was a number 1 out in Seattle, he didn't produce.
Yeah.
I feel like Pierce is that same type of receiver.
Yeah, some people are just not that guy. They're not the 1 spot. They're a fantastic 2 spot.
I mean, I could easily be wrong about it, but I don't see it. You don't usually get guys that are more of that deep threat as your true number 1. It's rare because they've got to be just that guy. Like Tyreek Hill when, back on the Chiefs, or Steve Smith with the Panthers. You don't get those deep threats that are that guy very often.
But that moves us into the last section, the 18 quarterbacks, but we'll focus on Malik Willis going to the Dolphins, Kenny Pickett to the Panthers, Marcus Mariota to the Commanders, Gardner Minshew to the Cardinals. That's right, Uncle Rico is going to Arizona. Case Keenum to the Bears, Mitchell Trubisky to the Titans, Kyle Allen with the Bills, so the quarterbacks can share a jersey that says Allen. And Daniel Jones signs with the Colts for 2 years, $88 million with $12 million in incentives. Now, there are some rumors that say that that Jones asked the Colts for $50 million. I can't confirm this, but it wouldn't surprise me. That's how negotiations work. I start at 50, you start at 30, and we meet in the middle at $44 million a year.
That's a lot to pay for a dude coming off his third major knee/leg ligament tear and repair.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I'm shocked that he got that much because I don't see him having to market more than 30. Truly.
See, I thought 38, the mandatory for your transition tag.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a good value for Daniel Jones, $38 million
Yeah.
for a single year, and
Yeah.
but
I
get.
Yeah, because I think the Colts initially offered him 36, is what I heard, a year for like 2 or 3 years, which I thought that's honestly fair for the level of quarterback that he is and the injuries he's had
Yeah,
and his age.
because if I'm completely honest, he was a good quarterback last year for the first 8 games he played,
Like
and
8 or 9, yeah.
yeah, and then he got hurt. So yeah, you were amazing when you're on the field, but the best of it ability is availability.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, to me, this is just Sam Darnold version 2. Dude that bounced around and didn't do much for the first, 5+ years in the league and has one good season. And then people think he's the next coming of, Joe Montana or whoever. Like, you know what I mean? But like, I would still say it needs to be a proven. I would have done 2. I mean, I would have proposed it as a 2 with an option on the second at that
Yeah.
$44 million.
But then we get into the trades.
So hold on.
Oh,
Before
sorry.
we move on to that, are we just going to ignore the fact that Green Bay has now had 2 different quarterbacks come in and start 2 games and get a massive contract that offseason afterwards? This is the second time that happened with Malik Willis getting that 3 for 67 down in
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah.
He's started a total of 6 games in, I think, 3 years he's been in the league? And he just got 3 years, $67 million from the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like, this is Matt Flynn version 2.
Which I was blown away by the Malik Willis contract because they just took, well, we'll get into this later, but they just took a massive cap hit just cutting Tua loose.
Yeah. I mean, and they already have 2 quarterbacks on the roster. Like, they already have Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers, who they just drafted Quinn Ewers last year.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't play, I mean, he didn't play great, but like, for the talent that's on the field on the Dolphins, he didn't play terribly either. It sounds like they have a lot to really work with.
I mean, yeah, but it's pretty obvious that the Dolphins want a fire sale. Like, they want to change everything about their team.
Yeah.
And promoting a guy from within is not changing your team.
I mean, you're right. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's one of those things where when he's a rookie, if you're going to play him, play him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was around last year. He went through a full season. He got some starts under his belt. Like, just kind of, if you're going to draft him, let him at least play a little bit and see what happens.
Well, yeah, but the guy who drafted him's gone, right? General manager, coach. Like,
I thought the general
everybody's
manager stuck around, but I could be wrong.
I thought the general manager went too, but still, like, I don't know. I think they're going in a completely different direction, and that's what this is about.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I didn't think Malik Willis has shown anything to get this type of contract at all, but
Yeah.
that's also why I don't work in the NFL either.
But I mean, that also might be why somebody like Daniel Jones got paid too, because there's so many quarterback hungry teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
Maybe Vegas really was going to pay him, $50 million or whatever.
I can't see
So
that with them holding the number one pick unless they were going to trade it.
I'm
No, they're
just
not going to
throwing a
trade it.
name out there. I'm not saying specifically Vegas. I'm just saying that, like, there's a lot of quarterback hungry teams in the league right
No,
True.
Daniel Jones got paid because he was 7-1 when he got hurt, and they want a full season of that 7-1 Daniel Jones.
Well, it's going to be hard for them to do that when they just lost their starting left tackle.
Yeah, and I'm gonna miss Pittman too. That was nice.
I mean, he was probably the second best offensive lineman, maybe three, because you got Quinn and Nelson. I forget the name of their center, but their center's pretty good too. But like,
Oh, I
you
couldn't
had the
tell
left
you.
side of your line shored up completely, and now you lost the left tackle, which is probably the most important spot on the offensive line.
Well, that means you just got to draft someone better. Oh, that's right. You can't because you gave away your first round draft pick to the Jets for Sauce Gardner.
now.
Yep, you sure did.
Damn it, guys. All right, moving into the 12 trades. Now, I was going to rattle all of these off, but I don't think I could pronounce half the names on here, so I'll skip to the end. DJ Moore was traded to Buffalo from Chicago. Michael Pittman Jr., many sad returns, is going to Pittsburgh. The Pitt man is going to Pittsburgh. Geno Smith was traded to the Jets from Vegas.
World's come full circle.
The Jets are Jetsing again.
I was like, isn't that where he started?
Yep.
What if it's one of those one-day deals where he just wants to retire a Jet, and he's just like, "I'm done. I'm out. Peace."
I know he had one more year in his contract. They were just going to release him if they couldn't trade him, but they were able to trade him, so now he still has that 1 year left.
Yeah.
But I could see this possibly being his last year because I think he is like 35 now.
But the thing that I thought was super hilarious was the price tag on Geno Smith. It's a 7th round pick this year and a 6th round pick next year.
I thought it was no, I think it was just a 6th round pick.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think the Raiders got a 6th round pick. The Raiders traded away their 7th round pick and Geno Smith.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Oh, so it's a
I'm
pick
misreading
swap.
this. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's
for
a
That's
pick.
less
and
than a
they're both
bag
for
of peanuts.
and they're both for this year's draft too.
Yeah, it's both for this draft.
Yep. So yeah, the Jets got Geno Smith in a 7th round pick.
Hey, listen, man, that 7th round pick could be Brock Purdy.
I mean, it could.
Which is practically Geno Smith, I guess.
Man, don't make fun of Geno Smith like that.
Trent McDuffie signed a 4-year, $124 million extension with the Rams.
This was great
Yeah,
for the
sure,
Rams.
why not?
I mean, they just got an all-pro cornerback who's only 25 years old, and then signed him for another 4 years. And they gave up, what, a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick
Yep.
for him?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like they didn't give up anything to get him, really, for the production that you're going to get from him. And, I mean, Kansas City went and signed Kenneth Walker, which is nice, but your defense is still Swiss cheese. And now it's even worse.
This contract makes McDuffie the highest paid cornerback in the league at $31 million annually. There are quarterbacks in the league that don't make this kind of scratch.
Yeah.
They shouldn't. They're not all pro quarterbacks. Dude's like the best corner in the league. One of the 4.
And then we come to Max Crosby, traded to Baltimore from Las Vegas for a first-round pick in this year and a first-round pick next year.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Well, no, it turns out Max Crosby failed his physical and is being sent back to Las Vegas.
Oh man, that sucks.
This is so bad on Baltimore's side. Like, I think Baltimore got cold feet and didn't want to pay up on the draft picks.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Two first-rounders. Yeah.
Do we know
Again,
why
it
he
comes back
failed
to-
the physical?
Well, he had it was known that he had he had a meniscus repair in the offseason. Like, basically once their season was over and stuff, he had meniscus repair surgery, but it was known. It wasn't as if no one knew about it. Everybody knew about it. I don't know. I think this makes the Ravens look really bad as an organization, to be honest. And it also completely screws the Raiders now, because now they've got to take back that. Well, then they got to take back that $30-some million that he has, which means the free agents that they did sign, they may not be able to sign everybody because they didn't account for that. Because why would they?
Yeah. Say this story reminds me of Eagles long snapper. I think his name was John Dorabas, and he got traded, and in the physical for the trade, they found out he had cancer and it saved his life. And he had to retire from football, unfortunately, but he was able to get into remission, and he's now a magician working in Vegas. Last I heard.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
So he's probably making more money than
Eagles long snapper to magician. Yeah, probably. If he's got a residency, for sure.
right? I mean, at least with the Ravens consolation prize, they got Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
So,
but that brings us to Tua Tagovailoa, who was released from the Dolphins, causing an unprecedented $99.2 million of dead cap money. This is a weight off of my shoulders because nobody wants to see Tua get any more concussions. Unfortunately, even that hope has been shattered as Tua has signed with the Falcons for a 1-year, $1.2 million contract.
$1.2 million. Is that like league minimum for a franchise quarterback?
It is indeed, Pete.
I thought so.
It is the league minimum for a veteran.
Wow. That's crazy.
he's going to
still
play,
getting
though.
what, $99 million from the Ravens or something? So
Dolphins,
yeah, he's
but
still getting paid from the Dolphins, which I don't understand.
yeah.
And the crazy part is he's going to probably start the season off as their quarterback because Penix had that knee injury. So I doubt he'll be ready by week 1.
Maybe it'll be like when the Eagles had McNabb and Vick, and they'll just swap out quarterbacks every now and again. Try to save them from hurting one another.
But in closing, I will give a quick shout out to our respective teams and their skill positions. The Colts transactions so far are Alec Pierce, Blake Group, the kicker, Daniel Jones at quarterback. The Eagles are working on their tight ends, signing Grant Calcaterra.
Calcutta.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Calcaterra. Sorry, Calcaterra.
Calcaterra, and Johnny Munt, both tight ends. And then we come to the Cowboys, who didn't sign anybody, but did convert so many contracts to lighten up the cap space. Thank you for taking one for the team, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. And speaking of Dak Prescott, guess what happened to this poor son of a bitch?
Dallas has signed somebody.
Who'd they sign?
They signed the Cardinals safety from last year.
Oh, he must not have come up on my radar because he's a safety.
We don't talk about safeties on
we
this
don't talk
podcast.
about safeties.
Come on, Adam.
But Dak Prescott and his former fiancée, Sarah Jane Ramos, announced this week that they would be canceling their wedding and that they were breaking up. This comes as a bombshell as they were planning on getting married next month on April 10th. Some are speculating that this is because Ramos refused to sign the prenup, but Ramos has vigorously denied this is the cause. Now, I used to work for a DJ service that would do wedding receptions, and this happens way more than people think. People plan weddings, and as they start to get into that 1 month area, it really starts to set home what's happening, and things like this happen, and then they just decide to just cut the whole thing and just walk away. Now, in defense of Dak Prescott, this sounds suspiciously like she was pushing off the paperwork and refused to sign the prenup, but I can't speak to that.
I mean, not for nothing, but maybe she refused to sign the prenup because she realized she doesn't want to marry a celebrity. Because, like, it probably really sucks marrying a celebrity. I don't know who she is. But,
No,
I mean,
neither do I.
having been someone who planned a wedding and then didn't have that wedding, I didn't get this far. Not nearly this far. But I did spend, like, a good 6 to 10 months planning a wedding that never happened. So I could feel his pain, but I wouldn't want to marry a celebrity. Like, fuck that. It sounds terrible.
I get that. I'm sure being married to any kind of professional athlete like that would really just suck in general.
But that brings us to the next segment of our podcast, a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, what's up? Before we continue our show, I want to talk to you about our new sponsor, Dubby. You ever feel like you need that extra oomph to power through those late night study sessions, clutch those game wins, or finish that epic video edit? I know I do, and I finally found something that actually works without the jitters or the dreaded crash. Let me introduce you to Dubby. That's right guys, we're partnering with Dubby and we're seriously hyped. Dubby is our new go-to energy drink and it is a total game changer. What makes it so different is, first off, and this is huge for me, Dubby has no artificial dyes, plus it's all completely sugar-free, so you don't get that quick energy spike followed by a massive crash. And the taste is absolutely amazing. Dubby comes with a bunch of different flavors, such as Tiger's Blood, Green Apple, Strawberry Pineapple, plus limited time offers that do go quickly. I'm currently obsessed with the Tiger's Blood myself, but they're all really good. Alright, so how do you get your hands on this stuff? Head on over to dubby.gg and use our code GEEKS10 for 10% off your entire order. That's dubby.gg, dubby.gg. Seriously guys, go give it a try. You won't regret it. We love this product and I'm sure you will too. It's definitely been a game changer for us and I'm stoked to be sharing it with the rest of you. Now, let's go ahead and get back to our show.
And that brings us into the game of the week. And so, Pete, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So this week you guys made the mistake of letting me pick the game of the week, and I went ahead and picked a wrestling match instead. And this was 2022 Final Battle, last pay-per-view of the year for Ring of Honor. We had FTR versus the Briscoes for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship in a double dog collar match. My God, this is one of my top 5 matches of all time. I loved this. I've watched it so many times I can't explain. And it was just great to like sit there and watch it. I love so much of like even the setup when they're doing like the catch you up on the storyline, and they go to the Briscoes cutting a promo, and Mark Briscoe's like, "We're gonna have a double dog collar match. You understand the implications?" And then Jay's like, "We're gonna have collars. There's gonna be chains. It's gonna be crazy as shit." It's so good. Oh, it was so good. What'd you guys think?
Oh man, I'll let Adam go first on this one.
Dude, I loved this match. I already really liked FTR to begin with. I also really liked the Briscoes too. And this matchup was so good because just so many different things, but like just the styles and the way that these guys put together matches. This was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I love this match.
So I love this match probably for completely different reasons than you guys. I love the added strategy of being able to hinder your opponent from getting where he needs to be because he's fucking chained to you. So
Right.
if he needs to dive in and stop that last minute tag, you just have to yank on that chain and pull his ass out of the ring, and he can't do a thing about it. I love that new element of strategy that you don't get in most wrestling matches. Now, I will say that the amount of blood in this match turned my stomach, and
Oh.
the utter brutality of it is otherworldly.
Yeah, like I
Don't eat while watching this match.
dude, you gotta eat, man. Get get some hot dogs, like some ketchup and stuff on them, or a burger with some good ketchup or something.
Like
It'd be
extra rare
great.
steak. Extra rare
Yeah.
steak. That's perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, if I'm not
Just-
mistaken, didn't even the referee end up
Yes.
getting a headshot and
Yep, sure.
with a crimson mask? I mean,
He
it
sure
was
did.
very violent. To Tom's point about being able to pull by the chain, there was one spot where they had, I think it was a bunch of chairs on the floor, or maybe there was a table
Yes.
on the floor, and Briscoe's up on the top rope, and Cash Wheeler just yanks him by his neck and throws him down on those chairs that are on the ground. And Caprice, the commentator, goes, "I don't even want to know if he's injured. I want to know if he's alive."
Dude, on the mention of Caprice, man, dude, this announce team was so good.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
they're
my favorite
better
too,
than
man.
yeah, they're better than anyone else that's on like the main shows from WWE or AEW. These
Mhm.
Riccaboni and Caprice are so good. Like they remind me like of like back in the day from honestly almost like I wouldn't even say King and Lawler, not even like Lawler and JR, but more like JR and like Paul Heyman when Heyman used to be on commentary
Yeah,
is what it really reminds me of.
Ian Riccaboni is a giant Eagles fan, and he is from Allentown, PA. Actually,
Oh,
happens to be my
nice.
Isn't
favorite
that also where
commentator.
Kidman's from?
Heyman?
I know he's
thought
from
he was from. I thought he was from New York.
Kidman.
Oh, Kid.
Billy Kidman. I think he's from PA. Yeah, okay. But yeah, no, this was great. Yeah, I even had the note. Yeah, they started bleeding early. Like this is like 2 or 3 minutes into the match. It was when Mark started bleeding first.
Well, I mean, they had 20-foot metal chains attached to their necks that they pick up and punch each other in the face with.
Yeah,
Of course they did.
yeah, it was good. One thing I also loved about this match that I thought was really well done and well put together was that this match didn't go on forever. This wasn't one of those matches that just kept dragging out and they kept kicking out of everything until one random ass move and then it's over. Like
Right.
that was something else that I really loved about this match was that the finish made sense and it was like a 10-minute match.
Yeah.
10, 12 minutes.
Right.
Like this wasn't a lot because with this type of match, you don't want to go a half hour. It's dumb to go that long for this type of match. These type of matches need to be shorter, like by between 8 and 12 minutes, honestly.
This match made me miss how good matches used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know on our old show, I used to have an issue with a lot of the way that AEW would do a lot of their like Texas death matches and things like that. But this one made more sense and it wasn't overdone with those, which is what a lot of my issues were with a lot of our older AEW stuff we used to watch and used to do is they would overdo everything. And it's like you would have 2 or 3 different places in those matches where they could easily end and should end, but they just kept going just because they wanted to.
Yeah.
And it's like long
mean,
match
that's-
doesn't always equal a good match.
And unfortunately, that's still a problem to this day. I mean, they just don't know when to end matches. And the biggest issue in AEW. And I mean, this was a Ring of Honor match. At the time, it was owned by Tony Khan. So basically the same company, but technically separate. And anyway, the biggest problem I have with them now is you get all these moves, and you get the stuffed pile driver, and you get the Doomsday device, and you get the 1D, and you get all these other moves. And then the only thing that ever wins is a running knee strike. Like, that's it. Or a back elbow. And it's like, why is a back elbow the most protected move? I mean, Jericho doesn't wrestle anymore, but the running knee strike, like a V trigger, the EVP trigger, the Psycho knee, like everyone does a running knee strike, and that's what wins the match. The stuffed pile driver is a two count. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, coming back to this match though, like, I had a note about Mark Briscoe taking that bump on the chairs from the top rope, and that was it. He was done after that match, after that spot, until the very end. Like, he was out of this match after that point, rightfully so. Like, that's how you should do these types of matches. When you have big spots like that are painful and do like that, especially when you're getting ready to go home, like, be done with it.
Yeah.
And like, be out until the match is over for some of this stuff. One of the other notes I had for this that I really liked the sequence was it was with Jay and Dax, where Jay was like kind of doing like his like build up and everything else, and started doing like these like quick like 3, 4, 5 punches, and then went for a big boot to Dax. But Dax was able to block it enough, but the momentum sent him back into the ropes, and then he went to do a clothesline, missed, and then Jay did a back suplex on him. And then then they had their like rest spot basically for 30 seconds or whatever. I liked this spot because this kind of shows to me the big difference between guys that know how to put together spots like this to not no sell like so many other times it happens in AEW, where guys will just kick each other and everything else, and then they won't sell for a minute or two to do these move combinations with each other, and then they're done and pass out. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. You can't just take shots then pass out 2 minutes later. Like, I hate it when they do stuff like that, and guys do it all the time. But this one was built and the spot was made that worked because he still protected himself from the move. Like, he didn't just take the kick to the face and then try to do something afterwards. He blocked it, but the momentum pushed him back into the ropes, and he used it. Like, it made sense.
I do gotta say, the thing that most impressed me about this match is they had, like I said, 20-foot chains around their neck, heavy steel chains. They were getting in and out of the ropes constantly. They were jumping up and down on the ropes. They were fighting with one another, and never one time did they tangle the chain. No one tripped over the chain. No one put the chain in the wrong spot. No one had it on the outside of the ropes when they were on the inside. They never one time tangled the chain. And it was like, wow. Like, that's impressive, because even in like WWE strap matches, they have issues getting in and out of the ring. Like, and that's just attached to your hand. It's not even around your neck. Like, it was impressive that they never one time got tangled.
Yeah. The only issue they ever really had with the chain, there was 2 spots, and then one was when Dax wanted to go for his headbutt and was trying to wrap the chain around his head, but couldn't get it to stay because he was bleeding so much and sweating.
It kept slipping because of the blood.
Yeah. And then the only other one really is, it looked like at one point to me, where was it? I think it was Jay took a power driver from Dax, and it looked like the chain fell off or came up, like the collar came apart, and they had to like shoot over to like Wheeler and Mark and like focus on them so they could get it put back on. That's what it looked like. I couldn't tell. I moved it. I went back and watched it a couple different times, but it looked like the collar for Jay's chain came off, but they were smart and didn't pull an AEW and didn't show them putting it back on him in the middle of the match. They focused on the other 2 and like zoomed in closer to them.
Right.
And then once they got it back on, then they went back over to Dash or Dax and Jay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved this match. It was so good. And the only thing I had an issue with was that the crowd was chanting "Holy shit" way too many different times.
Yeah.
Like that's the only issue I had with the whole match. And if that's my only issue with the match, it's a good match.
It's a
fair.
very good match.
Like I think they started chanting "Holy shit" like a minute into this match. I think when Mark started bleeding is when they started chanting "Holy shit."
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like okay, yes, he's bleeding, but he just got hit with the chain. It wasn't as if it was a big spot.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
All right. So next week is my turn.
All right.
And I'm going to pick a football game. So I'm gonna pick a historic game. It is a Super Bowl, and it is the only Super Bowl that has ever been played entirely in the rain, and a halftime show by Prince singing Purple Rain. You would almost think that it was the universe that made it rain for him. Now, it was the 2006 Super Bowl, so I can't remember who played. Let me check my notes. It was the Colts and the Bears. Yes, if I remember, the Colts won this one, but the truth of the matter is this isn't because the Colts won, maybe a little, but it's because this is backyard football. In the rain, the football is so slippery that it is being turned over left, right, and center. Vinatieri, Mr. Automatic, was missing kicks because the ball was so slick. And it didn't matter because as soon as they turned the ball over, it would slip out of the Bears' hands and go right back to the Colts, and they'd have another shot at it. This was, I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let you guys watch it. But this is what we're going to be discussing next week for Game of the Week. Colts, Bears, 2006 Super Bowl.
Sweet. I can't wait. I like going back and watching these older games like this. It's a lot of fun to see just the difference. Also, see the difference in style of the game, how much it's changed. It's like when we went back and watched the NBA Finals last week and from 2001, how much different it is from today's NBA.
Right. Yeah, this would be 20 years this year, right, Tom?
Yeah.
You won the Super Bowl.
Oh gosh, yeah. It'll be this season will be the 20th anniversary. But that brings us into the AEW Revolution.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call.
Now, this weekend we have the AEW Revolution consisting of 10 matches, depending if you want to believe Big Boom AJ.
Oh my God.
But
he does not.
I don't. Idiot's probably going to just be in the Battle Royal.
Probably. So we have Swerve Strickland versus Brody King, Andrade El Idolo.
Andrade El Idolo
versus Bandito, and Tony Storm versus Marina Shafir.
Yes, sir.
With an everyone banned from ringside match. Yeah, that's about how that's gonna end.
I mean, she called her out specifically for never fighting alone. So
yeah,
either Marina Shafir's got no backbone, or she'll actually have everyone banned from ringside. We'll see.
But then the really interesting part comes that there are 6 title matches. 6 title matches in this event. Starting off with the AEW World Tag Team Champion FTR, which we just got done watching, versus the Young Bucks.
This is gonna suck.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. And it's like what, match 6 in their series now. and everyone just gets worse. Young Bucks don't know how to book a match. Rick Knox is the worst referee in professional wrestling, and you know he's going to be there because he's the Young Bucks personal referee, and it's just going to be absolutely atrocious. I can't stand the Young Bucks. I wish they would go away. Like, no joke, they really did have to create a wrestling company for them to be relevant. And they need to just go be management because they can't wrestle. They should realize this.
They really need to change their name too, because they really should be like the middle-aged Bucks at this point, because they're not
Right.
young anymore.
No, they're
They're
not.
like in their 40s,
Yeah,
or almost at least.
the balding Bucks.
Yeah, I still say Gardner Minshew is the long-lost Buck brother.
Yeah,
Like
he
when you
looks
see
like
him, he looks like their little brother with like just a Uncle Rico mustache.
Yo, dude, have you ever seen their little brother?
No,
Oh, I'll bring it up. Hang on a second. You guys keep talking.
but good.
I was just gonna move on to the next match.
All right.
But that brings us to the Trios Championship with Kazuchika Okada, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis versus Speedball, Kevin Knight, and Mystico.
Mystico.
And it's Kazuchika Okada.
I was hoping if I blasted by it fast enough, no one would notice.
You could also, with that, you can just say Okada, because everyone is going to know who you're talking about.
Just Okada?
Just
Yeah.
Okada. Yeah.
Like,
cool.
I don't know enough about some of the, I mean, I know Okada.
I know Speedball.
I hate Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah.
I can't stand him. Kyle Fletcher's gotten really good, though. He's actually done really, really well since he's come into AEW. I will say that.
Speedball is that guy in college that you just didn't want to be around.
Yeah, so I'm not a very big fan of Speedball either. The guy needs to put his shoes on. And this is the Young Bucks' younger brother. That's what he looks like.
Nothing like him.
Not a thing.
What the hell happened?
I don't know.
He didn't have a hard life of drugs and pain pills.
Yeah, that's got it. Or maybe he had a different parent, different father, different mother, or something. I don't know.
Maybe,
but my goodness, yeah.
Like if you bring up a picture of Gardner Minshew and you look at that, you're like, yeah, that's totally the Young Bucks brother. 100%.
Definitely more so than that guy.
Yeah. I think my biggest problem, going back to the trios match, I'm kind of sick of the trios division. The trios division is just a tag team that's not good enough to win the tag team championships plus a random singles wrestler. So like Jet Speed, right? They're an established tag team that just can't win the big one. And they tagged with Hangman and they won the trios belt. And then they lost it to the Don Callis family. And then then immediately Hangman just leaves Jet Speed and they group with Mystico, who doesn't even go here. Like, he's a CMLL guy, and you're obviously going to lose, and the Don Callis family is going to win. And, like, Protocada's cool, and I understand why Dunkzilla is with Protocada, because they used to be Fletcher and why can't I think of his name? They called him Dunkzilla one time, and I can't call him anything else. Who's the other dude in the Don Callis family that's in this match?
You said it's Okada, it's Fletcher. Who's the other guy, Tom?
The Australian dude that
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis, thank you. Mark Davis.
Sorry.
So like he was part of Aussie Open, right, with Fletcher, which makes sense. Protocada is a tag team they've been teasing forever, and so that makes sense. And Kyle Fletcher really is the belle of the ball that everyone wants to tag team with. And all of that makes sense. And then winning the belts, sure. Great. Don Callis now has 27 wrestlers in his stable, and he has 42 belts to distribute between them. Like, congratulations. I'm just sick of the trios division. They either need to make a true one or get rid of the belts, put them on a Ring of Honor. I don't want to see him anymore. Give him to Sammy Guevara. Goodbye.
Isn't that where the trios belt started? Was Ring of Honor? Because Ring of Honor either had or has still a trios division, don't they?
They combined the AEW and Ring of Honor tag team or trios belts. So the current ones, I believe, are still for both companies.
But that brings us to the World Championship with MJF versus Hangman Page in a Texas death match. Now, if Hangman loses, that means there's no more world title shots for him in AEW ever again.
Oh, so it's the exact same stipulations they use with Cody and Jericho.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that was 6 years ago. So, like, fair play to just rehashing something from a long time ago. I just hope this doesn't turn into Hangman leaving for WWE. I
couldn't see him going to WWE. I really couldn't, honestly.
Oh,
he's
I
not going
could.
to work. He won't work there. He
No,
doesn't
his
make
style.
sense there.
Yeah, his style and the way he works and the way he does stuff, there's no way.
Could
I
burn
don't know.
down
I
AJ
think
Styles'
it
house,
might
though.
work.
No,
You don't think it
unless
would
he's-
work at WWF?
He works the best when he's
WWE,
in these.
rather?
He works the best when he's in these like Texas death match style matches, and they don't do that in WWE. Like he wouldn't work.
But what if he brought it to the WWE?
They won't
Nah,
do it.
They won't do
They
it.
just won't. Like
Not the
they got rid of this stuff a long time ago. They're not going to bring it back.
not to
If they
mention
wanted
Logan
to,
Paul.
if they wanted to, they got guys that are already there that can bring this style in.
Yeah. And
Fair
not to
enough.
mention that Logan Paul stole his finishing move. And I honestly think that he's probably going to be pretty pissed about that. I don't think he would go there.
Although
I
I
don't
would love to see a buckshot lariat off between him and Logan Paul. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because for the longest time, Paul did it better. But, like, let's be serious. Logan Paul still hasn't even gotten to 50 matches. Like, he is not a professional wrestler. And
No.
the more he wrestles, the more you see through the facade of him just being willing to do anything. And his buckshot looks like shit now. Like, it's just getting worse and worse over time.
Which is honestly why, I mean, as far as Logan Paul goes, he worked best as like a part-time guy because you didn't see through it because he'd only wrestle like 3 times a year.
Right.
You know what? I want to see a vignette of just some random guy beating the shit out of Logan Paul in the parking lot.
Well, he was supposed to have a fight with Le'Veon Bell, but he canceled it, claiming that WWE doesn't want him to do it, so he canceled the match.
Oh,
I don't buy it.
I mean, to be fair, literally everyone in the Vision is injured except him and Austin Theory. So they would be left with just Austin Theory if they were to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, going back to the MJF and Hangman thing, like I love MJF. He's probably my favorite wrestler today that's currently working. In all honesty, like the way he does promos and the way he presents himself, like he lives his gimmick 24/7, and it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
but that brings us into the Continental Championship between Jon Moxley and man,
Takeshita. Takeshita.
Takeshita.
Takeshita.
It's
Yeah, that
Takeshita.
one.
Kanosuke.
It does look like take a shit.
Yeah.
Takeshita?
Takeshita.
It is Takeshita.
Takeshita. All right.
And it's Kanosuke. Kanosuke is his first name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I don't care. Like I hate. Like it's cool that AEW's got these belts, but it's just like there's honestly to a point there's just too many. It's like
Yeah.
they did this so like they could just give all the friends belts.
I know, and I don't disagree with that statement, but the Continental belt on Jon Moxley is perfect. It's now this match has no time limit, but normally the Continental matches have a 20-minute time limit, and Continental matches always have a stipulation of everyone banned from ringside. So it's really allowed Jon Moxley to show that he's not just a deathmatch indie bum, basically. And he's able to actually wrestle, and he's able to put together a 20-minute match without stabbing anybody with a fork. And on top of that, Takeshita's kind of the perfect person to take it off him. Takeshita's feuding with Okada right now, and he's got the New Japan television title, which is like, okay, fine, you needed a belt because you're in the Don Callis family and they all have to have belts. But like the New Japan television title is the professional wrestling equivalency of a participation trophy. Like, this is not a real belt to be parading around to the point where Takeshita doesn't even wear it to the ring. They announce him as it, and he doesn't bring the belt out. And you're not on New Japan television. If you're their television champion, go get on their television show. And don't be on this one. I love Takeshita. Don't get me wrong. I really do. I think he's what Sami Zayn could have been if the WWE wasn't holding him back. And I love his personality. His feud with Okada, I have a super cut of the whole feud. I love it. But I hate that he has that belt. So give him the Continental Classic so he can have his belt because he's in the Don Callis family, and they all have to have belts. I think this match is going to be good. This will probably be my favorite match on the card, honestly.
All right. This brings us to the Women's World Championship between Thekla and Chris Statlander in a best of 3 falls.
Yeah.
Thekla retains.
Wasn't that I haven't been following AEW as much lately. Didn't Statlander lose her belt to Thekla?
Yeah, she lost it to Tekla, and then this is the rematch, although Tekla has already defended it a couple times. So I honestly think Stat wins this match. I think Tekla will probably win the first fall, and then Stat will win the other 2.
Stat should win it. Honestly, they never should have taken it off her to begin with unless she was hurt for some reason.
Exactly. And maybe she was, because it's been like 3 months and she hasn't had maybe she had a tag team match in that time. She hasn't had a lot of matches in that time.
So you think she was low-key rehabbing?
Yeah, it's possible.
Or it's possible maybe she got like a minor injury or something during the match with Thekla to begin with, so they switched it on the fly to give her time to kind of heal and then come back for it, possibly. Because unfortunately, the biggest issue with Chris Statlander is she's always hurt.
Yeah.
Like, that's my biggest issue with her. I love her as a wrestler. I like her matches. I really did. I didn't like it when she first debuted with the alien gimmick. But like, after a while, when they kind of started to face... Of course you did. You like bad gimmicks. But like, as they started to phase it out, I mean, her skill showed more, and I liked her a lot. The premise is she's always hurt. Like, she's hurt all the time, and that's just her biggest problem. Like, I think since she's been in AEW, hasn't she torn both ACLs since she's been in the company?
So. I think she
Like,
has, yeah.
I think she said, yeah, both ACLs are... I know they've at least one, if not both, or the same one twice, maybe. She's also, I think, she tore something else, too. Like, she's had, like, 3 major injuries in 6 years that has sidelined her for about 2.5 years of the 6 she's been in the company. Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Like, she's been out a lot because she's had major injuries. And it sucks, because I do like her, but that's just, like I said, her biggest issue is just that. She can't stay healthy. She's always got some sort of an injury that's going to sideline her for a couple months.
Yeah. I mean, I really want Statlander to win. I like her a lot. I want to like Tekla. Like, I really want to like Tekla. And I understand that... I know. I understand that she's from Austria, and like, English probably isn't her first language, and she has an accent. But the reason she's not getting over is every single line she delivers, she's talking like it's a question. And she goes up at the end of every single sentence, and she's shouting at me. And she's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it toxic." And it's like, what? Why are you asking me? Like, and why are you yelling that question into my face? And like everything else about her gimmick, I love. I love the whole spider thing. I love the upside down camera. I love all the things she does in the ring. I love the biohazard symbols all over her trunks. Like, I love what she does with the Sisters of Sin. All of that is fantastic. The Bray Wyatt upside down crawl around the ring that she does, the spider suplex she does in the corner, like all amazing. But the second she gets a microphone, I'm just like, shut up. Get a mouthpiece. Where's Paul Heyman? Like, go join the Don Callis family. Jesus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like really she just needs someone to talk for her, basically.
Yeah. I
It
think
worked
so.
great for Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Which is always funny because he wasn't Japanese. He
Nope.
could speak English.
He was Samoan.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines is there's Yokozuna, Samoan who's currently living in Hawaii, shouting "Faha Samoa," and here's my white ass sitting on my couch going, "That's one big Japanese dude."
Right? Yeah, it's just, but yeah, I said I haven't seen a ton of Thekla. There's nothing against her. I really like Statlander, and I think that her reign got cut super short for
Yeah.
some reason or another. And I'm looking forward to this match, though. I really am. I want to see this match.
But that brings us to the last match of the evening. The National Championship Battle Royale with Ricochet defending against 21 nameless people, one of which may be Big Boom AJ because he can't keep his mouth shut.
So
I was actually
gotta
joking
say,
about the Battle Royal.
Yeah, I wonder where you get your sources because this is a pre-show match.
Yeah.
This isn't even on the main card.
Yeah, it's not on the main card. It's going to be recorded beforehand, but
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube.
has it already
probably
been
not.
recorded?
No.
Oh,
They'll go live on YouTube an hour before the PLE starts.
right.
So
Yeah, this is the only pre-show.
which is good. They honestly, if you're gonna have a battle royal, that should be the only match on your pre-show because it's gonna take you at least
For sure.
half hour to 45 minutes.
Right. Now, this
So-
is a blackjack battle royal, so I don't know if you guys know the difference, but the way this will work is there are 4 sets of 5 wrestlers. One wrestler for each face card in a suit of cards, and then 4 groups for each suit. So it'll be the hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades, and they'll be released in suits. So when they release the diamonds, all those wrestlers will come out. When they release the hearts, all those wrestlers will come out until all 20 men have been released. And then finally, we'll have one that's called the Joker, and he's supposed to be the only one that's not named beforehand. But I have no idea who's in this match. I could give 2 shits about the national championship. Why do you have an international and a national championship? I don't get it. And a continental championship. Like, it's stupid. The national championship should not have been created. And it sucks because I really like blackjack battle royals. I like the match. But this is going to suck. It's for a stupid prize. Ricochet, I'm sorry, dude. They don't know how to use you. You're good, but you got saddled with the gates of agony, who are jobbers. They do nothing but lose. They've never won a goddamn thing. And I know they've been trios champion how many umpteen times. They've been Ring of Honor champions umpteen times. I don't give a shit. They can't do anything on television. They don't win anything on television. I don't get it. It's stupid gimmick, or it's a good gimmick, a stupid belt, and a stupid group of wrestlers.
I think one of the shows we talked about, like last year, they were doing the Blackjack Battle Royal. It may have been Double or Nothing, since it was in Vegas.
Yeah, that might be.
But I forget, is with this one, with their Battle Royals, because it's been a while since I've seen one. Is it over the top? An over the top Battle Royal?
Top. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, I like Ricochet, but apparently nobody knows how to book Ricochet because WWE couldn't do it. Now AEW can't book him. Maybe you should go
Yeah.
to New Japan, or honestly, maybe go back to like AAA, and like
Right.
because this style fits more in AAA than it does anywhere else.
Yeah. They need to be
So
back for WWE at this point, though. They own AAA.
yeah, but I mean, well, I guess I shouldn't say it feels like they're letting it go because I don't really watch AAA, so I don't know what the product before and after. But I mean, I thought they kind of said pretty much like we bought it, but they're still running their show and they're just not interfering with it. But I honestly have no idea.
I mean, Corey Graves does the commentary, and that's about all I really know.
Ew. For
I
AAA,
love Corey Graves. Yeah, he's the
I
voice
don't
of
like Corey
AAA.
Graves, man. I wish he'd wrestle again. I wish he'd come back and be a wrestler because he was, and then he had the concussion problems, but then he got cleared like a year or two ago, and he's
Yeah.
never come back to wrestle.
Yeah, I don't think he ever will at this point. I think he likes commentary too much.
Yeah. I just don't, I don't know. I don't like him as a commentator. I don't think he's a good commentator. It's been long enough. He should be a lot better than what he is. So I don't know. I've never liked him as a commentator. I didn't like him in NXT. I didn't like him on the main shows. I just don't like Corey. I just don't like Corey Graves.
I'd love to get him on Collision, man. Corey Graves, Tony Schiavone, Ian Riccaboni. Best three-man booth ever. Corey Graves just tears Tony Schiavone down nonstop. Ian Riccaboni just tries to like apologize and make everything better, and like yells at Corey Graves for being so mean. It'll be amazing.
I maybe, I don't know.
Well, that moves us into the next segment of the podcast, The Pinnacle. This segment of the podcast where we examine a specific team, the NFL, and speculate on the best player for each of the skill positions. If Pete thought the Buffalo Bills was tough last week, this week must be a fucking nightmare. So we start with the New Jersey Jets. I don't
New
care
Jersey.
if they... Yeah, that's where they're at. They're in New Jersey.
It's true. It's true.
Starting with the quarterback, I will go ahead and say that Mark Sanchez is the best quarterback the Jets have ever... No, I can't even finish that sentence.
He didn't even make my honorable mention list.
Joe Namath. They've only had one top tier quarterback ever, and they've only had one quarterback to ever hit a Super Bowl. It's Joe Namath.
I mean, I disagree. I don't think Joe Namath's a top tier quarterback. I mean, to me, you can't be. It's in my. I don't know. To me, even though the times have changed and the game is played differently, you're not a top tier quarterback if all time career stats you have more interceptions than touchdowns. I'm sorry, that doesn't make you a top tier quarterback, even for guys back in that time frame. That's
This is
bad.
true. This is true.
Like,
I mean, I think that speaks to the talent pool we're dealing with, though, because I couldn't agree more with Tom. Like, I really, as vanilla as it sounds, I don't see anybody other than Broadway Joe. No one else on this roster.
Were
I
you
didn't
going
pick
Ken
Broadway
O'Brien?
Joe.
Going Ken O'Brien?
No, I went Chad Pennington.
Oh.
Okay.
He was there for 8 years. He started his career there and was there for 8 years. I mean, he doesn't have the accolade. He never went to Super Bowl or nothing like that. The only accolade he had was he was All Pro one year, or he was a comeback player of the year, one of the years because he got hurt before. But I mean, I think he was just better as a quarterback overall. Had better completion percentage, had better touchdown to interception ratios. Like, I think he was a better quarterback.
The
Like I
only
said,
problem is Chad Pennington never even sniffed a Super Bowl.
no, and you're right. I'll give you that. That's the only thing Joe
That's
Namath
the
has on him.
only thing.
And granted, a Super Bowl does, it buys you a lot. You won a Super Bowl, and I will give him credit for that. He was one of my honorable mentions, to be honest with you. My other honorable mention for this was Vinny Testaverde, whose best years of his career came in the Jets.
Yeah.
And
it's funny.
he led the league one of the years as the Jets. Like he had a good career there in New York, and so did Pennington.
It's
Oh,
funny.
shoot.
I have a buddy that's a lifelong Jets fan. Grew up in New York, and I asked him about this, and I was expecting him to say Joe Namath, but he actually said Vinny Testaverde, um, which I was kind of surprised about. And I mean, I think part of the reason I didn't pick Testaverde is because he traveled so much, and I just don't feel like he did his best in New York. You know, I based a lot of this how the players played in New York specifically. And I mean, if you look at it, Chad Pennington is 2-4 in the playoffs. Like, not even including Super Bowls, the guy has lost 4 playoff games and has only won 2. Whereas, you know, Joe Namath is 3-3. And I mean, it's not just Super Bowls that matter; playoffs matter too. And they both played in 6 games, and Joe's got 1 more win. So I stand by Joe on this one.
I will also point out that Joe Namath has the career passing yard record for the Jets and the career touchdown for the record for the Jets, and apparently only the career interception record for the Jets as well.
I'm
So,
kind of surprised that's not Sanchez.
no, Namath had a lot of interceptions, a lot.
Yeah.
But and it's
Uh,
funny talking about Vinny Testaverde though. Like he spent of his career, he spent the most time with the Jets of any team. He played
that
there
is
for
surprising.
7 years, and he went 35-26 as a starter for the Jets. So he had a winning record in New York, which is pretty impressive for being a Jets quarterback.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I mean, that's why he was one of my honorable mentions, along with Joe Namath. But yeah, so Vinny Testaverde played the most time in New York.
There you go.
Moving on to the running back position, Pete, who do you have as the best running back for the Jets?
Yeah, so for me, this kind of just has 2 choices, in my opinion. You got Curtis Martin. Um, he was over 1,000 yards almost every year. He didn't make it his last year. He had 3 Pro Bowls, and he led the league in yards in 2024. Or you got Freeman McNeil. He played his whole career in New York. He led the league in yards in 82. Also had 3
85.
Pro Bowls. Is it 85? Yeah.
Yep.
But so they seemed really similar to me in the regular season. So again, I went to the playoffs here. McNeil, I felt had better numbers. They both went to the playoffs 5 times, but McNeil did it all 5 times with the Jets, and Curtis went with New England once. I think McNeil had better numbers in the playoffs. So I am going with Freeman McNeil.
All right, Adam.
So he was my honorable mention, and I had Curtis Martin, and it's just yeah, it's funny because I had the exact same notes that Pete had. The only notes I had was that with 2004 when Curtis Martin led the league in rushing yards with almost 1,700 yards, he had 12 touchdowns and 3 fumbles. Like that's an amazing season for a running back. And then
Yeah.
I felt bad because when I was looking up Freeman McNeil, yeah, in '85 he had 1,300 yards, but he only had 3 touchdowns. I'm like, how do you have 1,300 yards and only 3 rushing touchdowns for the year? Like, I didn't know
Yeah.
that was possible.
You guys killed my notes. Curtis Martin is where I landed. But I was in the same coin flip as you guys, and
Yeah.
I just came out. I came out Curtis Martin for different reasons, though. Just the leading career touchdowns and career rushing yards. But that, but it's just like you guys said. Their records were so close that they've had 2 running backs that were that similar, and it just came down to the coin flip.
This is, I think, the best position group that the Jets have ever had in their history. Like, because they had some other running backs that weren't bad either. Like, they've had some pretty decent running backs throughout the
Yeah.
year. They just weren't there for a ton of time. these guys were there for longer and put up good stats the entire time they were there.
Moving on to the wide receiver position, Adam, who did you come up with as the best wide receiver for the Jets?
This one was a little harder to come up with, but my number one was Don Maynard, with Al Toon being my number two guy. Don Maynard was a four-time Pro Bowler, four-time All-Pro. Once he was the first team, and then the other three were second team. Led the league in yards in 67 with 1,400 yards, and touchdowns in 65 with 14 touchdowns. So, I mean, dude had some really good seasons in New York, and this was during the Namath era, actually. So he played with Joe Namath, but yeah, that's kind of where I went for mine.
All right, Pete, who do you got for wide receiver?
Yeah, on this one we completely agree. To be honest with you, when I was looking at the list of wide receivers, I just put them in order of yardage, and 3 of the top 10 are tight ends. Like, there have not been good wide receivers in New York, and he's who I landed on for all the same stats. The only thing I think you missed was they won the Super Bowl. You know, he was on that Super Bowl winning team in '68, which was pretty cool. I also find it interesting that his position was flanker for a while,
Yep.
which isn't a
Yes.
position we really know about, which was kind of cool. So, yeah, but I also landed on Don Maynard.
So, funny enough, I also picked Don Maynard, and the majority of my notes are justifying why a flanker is really a modified wide receiver. And I thought I was going to have to justify Don Maynard, but since you guys picked him, that kills most of my notes. I did have a different second place, though. I had Wes Walker as the second place, and I had to make a note that it's Wes Walker, not Wes Welker.
Yeah, with an A.
So I actually put him as a dishonorable mention in my notes, solely because he only had over 50% catch rate in
Yeah.
5 of his 13 seasons.
Yep.
Dude could
Jesus.
not hold on to the ball. He's worse than T.O.
Yeah, that is bad.
Yeah, that's why I noted him as a dishonorable mention, really just for that stat alone. I'm like, he had an under 50, I think under 50% or just barely over 50% catch rate for his career. Like, dude was god awful at holding onto the ball, but somehow he has the most yards, even though he couldn't catch the ball.
Moving on to the tight end position, I'll go ahead and take this one. I really wanted to put Dustin Keller because he's the only Jet tight end that I know. But it turns out that Mickey Schuler was the man back in the 80s, so I got to put a Mickey Schuler.
Yeah.
Pete, who did you have as the tight end?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. For me, it came down to Mickey and Rich Castor. They had very similar stats. I mean, I know they're tight ends, and I know not everyone is Travis Kelce, but I mean, they were the only tight ends that I saw on this list that had more than 2 seasons over 700 yards. I know that's very specific, but it's like 700 yard to me was a little bit of a benchmark, and it's like no one's hitting this level except these 2 guys. And I think Mickey just kind of edged Rich Castor out just a little bit, and that's who I went with as well.
Adam, tight end.
So mine actually was Dustin Keller. And mine, so I went with Dustin Keller. I had Mickey Schuler as second. And the biggest reason I put Keller first is because I think when I was looking at his page, looking at everything, he retired early because of injuries.
Yes.
But in the 5 years that he played, he put up just under 3,000 yards in 5 years. And I think he was averaging almost 50 yards a game, which again, we're talking tight ends, so most of them aren't going to have really high yards per game for receiving yards. I mean, Travis Kelce, Gronk, Gonzalez, like these guys aren't your typical tight ends. And I think he would have passed Mickey Schuler for the stats had he played longer than 5 years. But because he only played for 5 years and had to retire, I'm guessing due to injuries, his stats don't quite stand up because of it. So I kind of went with that aspect of it is when I picked him.
All right, moving along to the kicker, Pete. Who is the best Jets kicker?
Yeah. So I look at this list and I literally first thought is I'm just gonna pick Nick Folk. I don't know why I'm even bothering. But I went through the list anyway, and you know who I chose?
Nick Folk.
Yeah, I mean, he spent 8 years with the Jets. In that time, he had 83.9 of his field goals. He had 99.1 of his extra points. Even I wanted to pick Legatron, but he actually was terrible when he was at the Jets. He had like sub 75% field goal percentage. So like Nick Folk's the only option, in
So
my opinion.
who was Legatron?
Greg Zerline.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, he was bad. I also had Nick Folk, and you had the only stat I had that you didn't say was that he's the second all-time franchise leader in points.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Like my number two was kicker. His name was Pat Leahy, and
That was
he is
me
the
too.
all-time leader in points. But he only hit 71.4% of his field goals.
Right.
Like that's terrible, and 95.5 for extra points, which this is when they kicked from the 2 yard line. There's absolutely no
Right.
reason you should be under 98% for extra points. But
Yeah.
so yeah, like he's the all-time leader for points for the franchise at 1470. So that's a pretty big gap between him and Folk, but he was bad.
But the reason for that is because he literally played more than twice as many games as Nick Folk. Nick Folk was 120 and Pat is at 250 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so yeah, I Nick Folk kind of made it easy, honestly. And Dallas let this guy go
Yep.
because he started in Dallas. He was there for about 3-4 years, and then they didn't renew his contract, and he went to the Jets.
And now the Jets have let him go and he's on to his next team. But that does it for the Jets, and I hated every minute of it. Tune in next week where we discuss the pinnacle of the Dolphins, which I'm sure will do nothing for my holly jolly attitude.
Well, at least we know one position is going to be easy.
Yeah, for sure. Adam, bring us home.
All right. That will move us into the final section of our show, the final section. So what do we got for the final thoughts, guys? Pete, what you got?
With AEW Revolution coming up, I just want to say that I am very excited to watch some wrestling over there. WrestleMania is coming up as well in a couple of weeks. It's usually a good time. I don't know so much about this year because the booking seems to be awful, but there is a lot of really good wrestling that's coming up soon, and I definitely recommend everybody go out there and watch it.
Woo!
All right, Tom.
Congratulations to Ryan Blaney for winning the Straight Talk 500 and snapping Tyler Reddick's winning streak at 3. Tyler Reddick is still finished 8th, so he's doing good in the point standings. So I can't wait to see what happens at the Pennzoil 400 this week in Las Vegas. Should be a good time. And finally, this week is Selection Sunday for March Madness. Tune in next week where you see the Geeks and Greeks bracket.
Nice. So I want to give a shout out to the World Baseball Classic as we are finishing up their pool play for this. Right now, Team USA is actually on the brink of being eliminated and not making it to the final single elimination tournament for the Classic. They lost to Italy just yesterday on the 10th, 8-6. And with this upset, Italy is unbeaten in the tournament as of right now, and US is 3-1 and Mexico is 2-1. So Italy has 3-0. So Italy plays Mexico next, and the winner of that will determine who moves on and who doesn't. But there's also very specific things because if there's a tiebreaker, they go by runs to break the tiebreaker.
Makes sense.
So if Italy beats Mexico, the USA moves on because then Mexico will be 2-2. If Mexico beats Italy and they score less than 5 runs in 9 innings, then Team USA moves on. So, but if Mexico wins and scores less than 4 or 4 or less, Mexico moves on. So USA's future is not in their hands after that loss.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, Italy was not seen as a strong team coming in, but they've been perfect throughout the classic so far. So it'll be really interesting to see. I'm kind of excited for it. So, but unless you guys got anything else, I think that's going to wrap us up today.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Don't forget you can also find us on our social medias at Facebook and Instagram at Geeks and Greeks. Until next time, guys, may the coin toss of life ever be in your favor. Later.
See ya.
Peace.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?